Hi booktube, Aaron here. Hope you're doing very well. Today I'm going to be doing the New Year Same Old Me book tag. A tag created by James from Quaint and Curious Volumes. He very kindly tagged me, and it's sort of based off a tag created by Kevin Toll from Kevin Toll Reads, which is called the New Year New Me book tag. So this is a kind of ironic take on that, and so yeah, we'll get into it. So the first tag is regrets. What is one book from your 2024 reading goals you regret reading or that haunts you? And for me, one of the ones that it was just quite a fraught reading experience on the whole, and I want to try it again to do it justice. But at least the first time round, I'm quite haunted by The Glass Bead Game by Herman Hesse. It was honestly just the whole experience of the book, the way it was written, the portrayal of the characters, the ideas in the book, were all just totally antithetical to the way I see the world, what I'm looking for in a book. However, I found the end of the book incredibly satisfying and really, really intriguing. And so it's one that on a second reading I might enjoy quite a lot. But the first time round was really quite difficult. Number 2, Penitence. What is the one book on your 2024 reading goals that you feel guilty for not reading? And this is a book, it was probably on my 2023 reading goals, maybe even on my 2022 reading goals. It's the Strudelhof Steps by Himeto von Dodderer, and I'm hoping to read this for March of the Mammoth this year, where we read books over 800 pages long. This book is 850 pages long, so it's a comfortable mammoth, and I've been meaning to read it for ages. It says on the back, at least I think it says on the back, if not I've just heard it. It's essentially what Ulysses is to Dublin, this is to Vienna. And for a while I was reading a few books featuring Vienna, and as European cities go, it's high on my list. It's one I'm really intrigued by. I want to know more about, so yeah, that would be a good step to take. So hopefully I'll read it this year, and this cycle of just sort of putting off this book will end. Number 3 is The Albatross. Are there any books you had on your 2024 TBR that you're glad to say you won't read in 2025? This is a book I'm not writing off at all, but it's certainly one that I can't really see myself reading in the next year. Back in May, I made a video, I think it was called 10 Books for Summer, where I wanted to, I just made a list of books I wanted to get to, before September, and I got to, I think, all of them except one, and that was Tender is the Night by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I like Fitzgerald. I feel like I would like this book, but I'm just really not in the mood for Fitzgerald, I think. For a long time I was in the mood for books of this period, and I've not fully moved away from that, but I'm just not really in the mood and can't really see myself being in the mood for this. The general shape of my reading and where it seems like it's going is sort of moving in a different direction from authors such as F. Scott Fitzgerald. Number 4 is Pruning. Have any books led you to reconsider any of your long-term reading goals? I don't think, in so many words, I don't think I have really fully reconsidered any reading goals in that kind of a way. However, there is a book that has it sort of made me slow down, I suppose, on a certain author, because I was at a point where I was gonna dive in and maybe overindulge, and this one book I read slowed me down, and that was A Confession and Other Religious Writings by Leo Tolstoy. And early last year, I reread um, War and Peace with a great group of people. And shortly before that reread, I just read Anna Karenina for the first time. So I was on a real Leo Tolstoy kick. And so after that, I picked up this, A Confession. I also picked up The Cossacks, and I also I also picked up this, The Complete Short Stories, or shorter fiction. It's got some novellas and things in it as well, but it's a lot of Tolstoy in there, and I'm still going to read it. I might get to some of it this year. I doubt I'll finish both of these this year with some of the other things I have going on. But I was thinking of tackling a lot of Tolstoy last year, and I haven't really read any Tolstoy since last March. So I might dip into some short stories, read the Cossacks, or sort of Haji Murad, or something like that. But I've certainly reconsidered the idea of just diving in recklessly into the waters of Tolstoy's fiction, and I'm particularly warded off from his non-fiction. I don't think I have the patience for that. Number 5, Lying Fallow. What is one author or genre that you're taking a break from in 2025? Back in December, I read The Western Canon by Harold Bloom, and I think, on the whole, I'm going to stay away, at least from this kind of sort of popular literary criticism. I think I'm happy to read introductions to books, or if I pick up a difficult book that needs commentary, I might see if I can find a commentary for that book. Older works of literary criticism, such as Sidney's Defence of Poesy, that's still on the table as something I might read or dip into. Collections of book reviews and things like that, that's perfectly fine. But things like this, that and I think I just got a bit overwhelmed is the wrong word, but sort of had my fill of Bloom, and certainly Bloom in this kind of register. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but certainly won't be reading much or any Harold Bloom in 2025, and I'll at least be dialing back on literary criticism. Number 6, The Scape Goat. Are there any formerly favourite authors you won't be reading in 2025? And so far, I can't really think of any. Maybe Karl Ove Knausgaard, although I wouldn't really consider him a favourite author, although he's an author I've spent a fair bit of time with. And I was looking at my shelves and thinking, I don't really need to read any Kafka this year, or any Hemingway, or I was just sort of looking through the shelves randomly, and I was just thinking that I didn't want to take any of those off the table, and actually I'm quite happy with the possibility of reading any of those authors, and plenty of other authors that I might get to in the next year. So there aren't any authors that I'm gonna avoid intentionally that have formerly been favourites. Number 7 is Stay the Course. Is there a series you started last year that you might complete this year? I don't believe I'm in the course of any series. I'm there might be some I start this year. We'll see how it goes. There are some fantasy books actually that I'd like to get to just to shake things up a bit. And I was hoping to do that a bit more last year. So maybe that's something I'll do this year. However, there's one massive book I started just after Christmas. The Anatomy of Melancholy by Thomas Burton. And this is intimidating. At least the size of it is intimidating. I've been reading it for nearly a month and I'm 130 pages in. I've been reading other things, but it's going to be slow going. So if I finish The Anatomy of Melancholy by Christmas 2025, I'll be very impressed and very happy. Number 8 is Breaking Walls, which is one that was in Kevin's original video. Do you have a non-bookish related goal for 2025 you wish to share? In James's version, he was talking about not thinking about food too much, and I hope this isn't triggering. I don't want to think about food too much, but it's something I've sort of started doing a little better in the house this year, and I want to keep it up, which is just planning meals a bit better and more consistently, having set days that are sort of more vegetarian days, and sort of things like that, where essentially relying less on sort of easy quick oven meals, and sort of being able to cook sometimes quick fresh food, sometimes food that takes longer to prepare, but sort of knowing what you're going to eat each day, so that you can sort of plan things around that, and it not be a sudden scramble in the freezer drawers to see if there's anything in there. So far, it's been working well, and it's been quite quite effective, quite efficient. We'll see if that continues. And that's it. The last one is teamwork, to tag some people. It's a New Year themed tag. We're coming up towards the end of January now. We've got just over a week to go, so I don't want to. I mean, a lot of people have been tagged, and a lot of people have done this so far. So I've sort of lost track, and so I'll leave it open. If you're watching and you want to do it, please give it a go if you would like. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care.